Hello everybody! Hello, Paul here, and welcome back to Halloween season! Now, every DOS player in the world knows exactly what this game is. This is Hugo's House of Horrors. This is probably one of the very first adventure games that anyone has ever played of a certain age. This game was a huge deal. This was made back in 1990 by one guy. One guy, David Gray. He made 3 of them. This is Hugo's House of Horrors back in the shareware days. So this game is free, which is why a lot of people got a chance to play it. Came on discs, and you can get it on the old, what do they call them? BBS servers? What do they call them? Bulletin boards. That was the word. Get them on bulletin boards. It was free. It was great. And just like when you got Wolfenstein for free and everything, this is sort of like your taste of it, and then you can go back and buy the rest of the episodes if you want. So he made the jungle one, and there was another one that had Penelope in it, which is like a whodunit kind of thing. Well, anyway, so you're Hugo, you're this little blue guy which is now being madly experimented upon. You're breaking into the house to save your girlfriend Penelope. It's a noble goal, the hero's journey. I'm doing this kind of as a speed run, basically from memory. Well, that's not quite fair. This is actually my 3rd, maybe 4th attempt, because I thought I knew it well enough that I didn't have to save, and I really did have to save. And I learned my lesson later on, but I'll make it all the way down to the basement where Penelope is, and I'll die because I screw things up. So now, let's talk a little bit about, I guess now that the game is glitching out, it's a good time to talk about a bit of the issues that this game has. Now, it's unfair to talk about this game and it's like, oh, the graphics are horrible. Look at this low resolution blur. Because this was 1990, it was made by one guy, and shut the hell up. The problem was actually with not the game itself. The game and the programming is fine, but the text parser system was a little bit weird. There are 2 instances. Actually, well, there's a couple instances where you get a little bit confused because you have to respond to someone. Like here, you're going to be talking to this butler guy, and he's like, "Hey, would you like some meat that's absolutely necessary to get through the game?" And your inner brain says, it's like, okay, he asked you a question, so hit enter to clear the text box, and then type yes. Okay, but you can't do that. You have to type yes while the text box is up, which is really confusing. And that cost me several times. Actually, when I was playing this game as a youngin', that's what made me not want to finish the game, because I could not figure out. Like, I went up to the butler, and he's like, "Hey, do you want some meat?" And I'm like, "Let me think about it." And he's like, "Well, maybe later." And then you can never talk to him again. He's always too busy, so you'll never get the thing that you need to finish the game, and then you're done, and then you got to start all over again. Which, again, just like Mystery House, was probably a selling point to this game. It's like, oh, it's hard. It's going to take you a long time to finish. Not because it's difficult and I programmed it that way, it's because it's a little bit broken. But hey, it's 1990. A lot of things were broken back in the 90s. Emotionally, I was too, emotionally. It was the grunge era. I was a bit broken. Here's the infamous throw chop scene. If you've never seen it, if you never knew where it came from, that is where throw the chop comes from. Why it is so infamous is because as soon as you enter the room, the dog starts attacking you, and you do not have time to type throw the chop to the dog before he gets to you. So you have to type it before you enter the room. Don't hit enter, and then you enter the room. Then you hit it enter, and then the dog goes over there. But if you leave the room, it's like nothing ever happened. So if it's like, oh crap, I forgot something, I gotta go back and get the oil can from the shed, or I have to go get the bung from the doctor's office, or whatever. So you leave, and then you come back, and then it's like nothing ever happened. The chop is still sitting there. You can't get another one, and he will literally eat you. It's the same thing with these bats. You gotta kind of type blow the whistle before they get to you, and then that kind of confuses them and slows them down. You can get past them and everything. The other instance of where the text parser system really is really out and out to kill you is coming up with this old man at the top. And then here's the mummy. There's so many memories. There's so many memories I want to go over, and this game is only like 8 minutes long if you know what you're doing. So the first time I actually played this game, like for reals, I mean, I was a real little kid, but I was staying over at my uncle's house in, I think it was like in Kansas City, Missouri, and there's not a lot to do in there. So they did have a computer, and somehow they did have Hugo on a couple other shareware games. And I remember getting to this old man who asked you a lot of trivia questions about stuff that I, as a 8-year-old, did not know. Like, well, I knew the Aslan question because I asked you where Aslan the lion is. He asked you, like, literary and kind of nerd questions. It's weird. You'll see what he's talking about in a second. But one of the questions he asked is, like, who invented Dracula? And I'm like, I don't know. Christopher Lee, maybe? I don't know. So I was never able to get that past that question. So I went to go ask my uncle, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, and they were like laxing in their bedroom. And I'm like, excuse me, who invented Dracula? And he's like, why would you be asking me that at 9 o'clock at night? And it's like, I just need to know. And it's like, his name was Bram Stoker. And it's like, oh, perfect. All right, so I'll go over and I answer Bram Stoker. And then I'm like, wait, how do you spell Bram? Because I spelled B-R, because I played King's Quest 5, and I'm like, B-R-A-H-A-M? It's like, no. So I'm like, he's like, what? It's like, how do you spell Bram? It's like, I don't know. So he goes get his copy of the book and he looks at it. I was like, oh, B-R-A-M. All right, perfect. So then I enter Bram Stoker, bam. And then you get to the next questions and I screw them up because it's like you have to type the questions after when the box is still up and it's awful. So I asked him like 5 times during the course of a night. It's like 10:30 and he's trying to sleep. He's like, Bram Stoker, it's Bram Stoker, you little asshole. He didn't say that. He was actually a very nice man. Still is, because he's not dead. Lives in Honduras. So I learned it was Bram Stoker. That's how that got ingrained into my brain as a child, and that was my story of the day. I don't think I really talked about Hugo's House of Horrors literally at all. Anyway, if you play any of the other 2 games, all these sprites are pretty much reused. Like this little fat guy over here, the bald-headed, he's like 5, 6, maybe 12, 1,000 different characters throughout this little trilogy. And congratulations, you have completed adventure. This one actually gives you a little bit of a dance. There's no music to speak of because this was back before the days of ad-libs and sound blasters and gargle blasters and pan-galactics and things of that dubious nature. And then you get married and everything is great. And then it's like, goodbye, you win. What else do you want from me? Bye, there's your DOS prompt. Kaboom. And you saw this at the end of every single game back in the 90s. It was shareware. It's like, hey, if you liked it, first of all, A, don't be a dick and distribute it. And B, pay me money for more. Just like Mystery House, where you literally send $5 to the guy's house. He will put them on a disc and he will mail them to you. It was very personable. It was a little bit weird sending mail to an individual instead of like some nameless corporation, but that's the way it was done back in the day. The corporations didn't really get back into... Well, no, that's a bit of a lie. Well, maybe home computing, I think, was sort of still a fresh frontier. Everything was still arcades because the arcade crash hasn't happened yet. Anyway, that's it. That was Hugo's House of Horrors. I hope you were paying attention. You may have to watch this video again with myself muted so you can actually see what's going on and pay attention. But otherwise, this has been Paul, and as always, good night, jelly beans. Good night. Oh, look at him. Oh, look. Is he stuck in there, or is he frolicking? Bird, do you need help? Birdie? I used up all of my daggers. No, I didn't. Come on.
Choose which that. Choose, I'm sorry. It's been a late night. Choose that. Now you don't even get to know. You just choose something.